This was meant to be an emotional purge. It was meant to be that occasion when I would climb off the pedestal and go back to the little me, the not so little me and the big me, So the idea was to constantly disabuse myself of the notion that I was Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa and I was writing these judgments, and that in fact I was a young person like any other, and you can see how much time I take to try and recollect that past. And I'm sure if I ask you now to run down that memory lane, you're going to remember that grandmother, that uncle, and those dumplings that were done by that auntie well. And I was trying to bring that plain human and humaneness that sits in me. The Constitution says everyone shall have access to education. In relation to basic education, there is no qualificative. So it must be immediately realized. In relation to all other education, it says subject to progressive realization. But there's no debate whether or not you're entitled to access education. Now, progressive realization simply means the government must take all the steps which are necessary to get us there. And the question that you must ask after 22 years, what are the steps that have been taken to be able to access education as we promised each other, let alone, because that's what the Constitution is a binding document amongst us. Sivumelene, this is our pact, Umtwani. So let's not quibble about whether or not the Freedom Charter has it or whether or not. The real ultimate document is the Constitution, and I'm a constitutional lawyer. You look at it, sure, young people are entitled to ask, what is the progression? When will we realize universal access to education? And remember, the Constitution is an enemy of inequality. We promise equality and equal dignity, equal worth. Now you can't get equal worth with me, with a BA, LLB, B Juris, LLB, advocates admission, whatnot, 40 years in the profession, and you haven't had that same chance. At least opportunity to be able to get there. It's unfair. So we as society, we have to prioritize that. We must put it higher. I can imagine of many things that must fall besides the fees, and bodyguards and homes, and we can find that money if those things fall and the resources go to the people. So the demand is quite a fundamental one. With few resources, true. Are we using them well? That's the debate. And can we get some of them go to the essentials? Can we reprioritize? Answer must surely be yes, like in any home, any good home. The title is meant to raise a very important conversation about personal agency and collective agency. All of us sit with a set of beliefs. All of us have dreams about what we want to be or not to be. But what makes the difference in an individual and in a nation is when individuals assume the role that they want, to be free, to be liberated, whatever that means to them in their lifetime. Similarly, when nations make that same decision, like we did when I was young in the liberation struggle. We were tired. These young people now are making the same point. We want access to free education in our lifetime. Same. So in effect, we become our own liberators. We are the ones who steer the course of history.